gradually, but because we have very fast transitions, this room is a multi-purpose room. It was being used this morning, and now right after us, sharp, without any 5-minute break, is the council meeting in this room. So our goal will be to keep everybody on the toe, keep everybody on time. We have a very packed agenda, but we'll want to stick with time so that we finish right on the dot, or maybe a minute before, so that we can allow the transition to the council meeting. So there will be a lot of fast-paced things. The goal is to share the information with you, and you'll have next few days to digest and then circle back with people. And you can reach out to me afterwards if you have questions, and so we may not have enough time for conversation. Well, let's get started. So this is APPNA Healthcare Entrepreneurship and Innovation Symposium, and I am moderating this session. I am Danish Bhatti. I'm a neurologist with fellowship training in movement disorders. And the way I got into entrepreneurship was getting in touch with some great founders who were launching healthcare innovative startups. And I ended up with the opportunity to do some angel investments or early stage startup investment with them and with some of my friends. And that became a little addictive. So now we have a circle of friends where we repeatedly and regularly review startup pitches to try to decide if there is a new Facebook, new Tesla of healthcare coming out that we can be part of and enjoy the journey and maybe make some money out of it. But I think this is the opportune time to do this because of this whole idea called Healthcare 4.0. And the idea is that there is so much changing in healthcare. There is AI, not only large language models, machine learning, there's also pattern recognition, image recognition algorithm, and not just AI, there's also chips, chip human interface. As you know, the Elon Musk companies already has approval, and they've done first patient and they're doing second patient for chip interface for brain signal control of devices, which will become very commonplace. We have cloud computing, we have Internet of Things, with 5.0 GPS and data. There will be too much connectivity. There's big data. There's also this whole concept of creating almost like a map of large systems. So you can map a whole city in a model, and then you can tweak around and play. If we change the traffic this way, what would happen? If we have this highway, what would happen? So mirroring is happening, human mirroring is happening. So some of the ideas, I've seen crazy ideas, is that they want to create an artificial human model with MS, so they can test out new therapies on that human model in computer in cloud without ever actually doing a drug trial on the person before they can find out which candidate to try. So it's an amazing time to be in healthcare. The next 20 years will be exciting, rapidly changing. Not only will have self-driving cars on the street, we'll also have self-driving robots in the hospital and self-driving physicians, where robots answering your queries. So let's be part of it, right? So it's not just about making money, which of course is part of it. That's what entrepreneurship is about. Whether you launch your own startup or invest in someone's startup, you're hoping for a good return or a great return. But it's not just that, it's also getting the front row seat of things that will hit the market 10 years down the road. And you hear about them now, you see them develop, you talk to their founders, see what motivates them, and maybe also advise them on what to do. So I would like to start by thanking the president of APPNA, Dr. Asif Mohyuddin, who was very kind enough to establish a task force to try to ask these questions, that how can this be brought to APPNA members? And I'm part of the task force, and this year is a brainstorming year for us. We're trying many things to see, okay, what sticks, what will work for APPNA members, what will be value add for APPNA members, and how APPNA members can participate in this. And then I would like to thank the host committee chair, Dr. Amir Ehsan, who's also RISA committee chair, which is helping put these programs together. And I would like to thank my co-chair for task force, Dr. Shahid Rafi, and also co-chair for host committee, Dr. Sohail Rao and Dr. Fahad Enam. So as I said earlier, we'll give you a snapshot of some of the things. The way we have put things together, there will be a few startups that will come in, and in very brief 5-minute, try to convince you what problem they're solving, what idea they have, and why that's a great problem to solve, a great solution for their problem. We'll do a few of them, then we'll have some opportunity to ask questions and to see, when you're asking questions from startup, the point is that, is this a scalable business model, which means that is it worth doing it to make money out of it, which is different than an academic question, right? When you do a clinical trial or research, in academics, you don't care whether that will give you any results except for your promotion, really. So you're just burning money. But when you're doing a startup, you're not burning money. You need to make money out of the money, right? Many will fail, and it's okay. But at least you should be convinced there is a chance for this to be successful. So the questions to ask are very different. The concept to ask is very different than, let's say, an academic research. And then we'll have a couple of fireside chat. We have two amazing sister organizations that I would love to introduce to you. One of them is Open, Overseas Pakistan Entrepreneurs Network, and the second one is SOAP, Society of Physician Entrepreneurs. So I've invited our friends from those two societies to have some conversation with them. They are far ahead into this than I am and others are. And then we'll end the day with a keynote from a very successful founder who was part of my inspiration to go on to this entrepreneur journey and my first startup investment. So let's see how that turns out. So let me first start by making sure my slides are moving.
Yeah, I can do it.
Okay, that's me. I'm happy to. You can find me on LinkedIn. So easiest way to find me is LinkedIn. I'm very active. Just reach out to me. Search my name on LinkedIn. Connect with me. Send me a message. I'll tell you my cell phone or my email, and then we can chat. And you can see some of my circle there, and that would be helpful. Let's be on LinkedIn. Really, that's the happening place for us, for physicians, and for entrepreneurs. So I encourage all of you to be on LinkedIn. And then let me start by, you can find the agenda online. We don't print too much. I have some copies, but it's easier if you just take a picture of this on your phone or scan it with your camera. You can get to a link. We will find the agenda, which startups are pitching, and who are the fireside chat panelists. So I am making sure that people have done it with the phone. Okay, good. One more. Awesome. All right. So let me start by inviting, if President Asif Muhyiddin is here, to give his welcome remarks. As I said earlier, he was one of the big force behind setting up the task for entrepreneurship for us, and he is the president of APPNA 2024. He's a practicing gastroenterologist in Florida, graduate of Government Medical College 89, and then moved to America. And his main vision in becoming APPNA president is to launch into a new direction of innovation, research, and investment in technology. If he's not here, then I will just thank him in his absence for it and appreciate all his support. I will move on to stay with time to invite our host and chair of the RISA committee and chair of the Fall Host Committee, who is Dr. Amir Ehsan, for his welcoming remarks. Dr. Amir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Danish, and welcome to San Antonio. Dr. Asif is on his way. So just would like to welcome all of you. This is awesome to see, quality crowd right after back-to-back meetings. And I know that the attraction was chai and samosa here. I'm just kidding. But it's really nice to see, this collective wisdom. So I'm very happy that Danish and the team is continuing the momentum that we built in the summer meeting. We talked right after the summer meeting that even though the fall meeting is not very well attended compared to the summer meeting, can we do it or not do it? But I'm very happy to see, the crowd, there's an interest here. I think together, philanthropy efforts are definitely, APPNA is doing great, but the entrepreneurship is something that we all are also collectively can do much better job. So great to see Dr. Babar out, great to see so many friends. Dan Hargrove just texted me that he's on his way. San Antonio traffic is very unpredictable, so he should be joining shortly. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, as I mentioned earlier, we do have a group of friends, all Pakistani diaspora, where we meet twice a week now to look at different pitches in startup. So if you have interest, reach out to me if you want to kind of just listen in. And we have recording of the previous sessions. And similarly, recording of the summer symposium on entrepreneurship, which was much larger, much bigger, is available on YouTube. You can search for APPNA YouTube channel and you can find it. But let's move on to the exciting part of the day. And we have a session of where startups will pitch their idea to you. Healthcare related startups, they have figured out a problem that you guys have and try to come up with a solution, and they try to convince you that they can create it, and this will be a great solution, and the people will vote with their dollars, and they will make a lot of money, right? But to host that, I have a pleasure of my partner in crime, a fellow entrepreneur and angel investor, Dr. Faisal Chima. Dr. Chima is Chief Executive Officer of ClinRe and Asset Ease, and he's also the Chief Medical Officer for Vianova and Novus Medvice. And he is the entrepreneur in residence at George Mason University, an academician, physician scientist, board member, angel investor, and an innovator. Dr. Faisal Chima, over to you for this session.
Danish.
Oh, okay. Professor, before you start, we have our president, Dr. Asif Muhyiddin. Let me invite him to give a couple of minutes of welcome to everyone for this symposium. And thank you so much for establishing the task for giving me the opportunity for this.
So much. Thank you so much. Welcome to this Entrepreneur Innovation Seminar. Danish Bhatti, Shahid Rafiq, they are the key people making this possible. For those of you who think that this is not a good idea, just look at what's happening in this world. API, our neighboring organization, they had 4 days of artificial intelligence seminars. 4 days. So what we are doing is taking APPNA in a new direction. Just making it more innovative, entrepreneurial. Yes, we will have problems, we will face difficulties, but we can't have one setback and give up. We need to continue to do what we are doing. We need to invest in artificial intelligence. We have here Mr. Farooqi. He's Bilal Farooqi. He's like a phenomenon. Dr. Sanaullah. These guys are entrepreneurs who are champions. They are here because they want to invest, they see the change that we are bringing. So this change should continue in the right direction. We should not give up. And I thank you gentlemen for taking this task. And it's because of you, they have an association called Tajdeed. If you're not part of it, it's a great thing to be part of. And these are the innovators, the future, Danish Bhatti, Shahid Bhai. And hopefully our next presidents will continue this momentum and take us forward in this direction. And thank you so much for being here.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you guys hear me at the back? Yes. Perfect. It is an absolute honor for me to be moderating this very exciting session on entrepreneurship and innovation in healthcare, especially at APPNA's fall meeting. And like Dr. Muhyiddin mentioned earlier, that we do not have that in a tradition going very far back behind in APPNA. But recently with the amazing amount of energy instilled by Tajdeed and Dr. Danish Bhatti and his colleagues, Dr. Shahid Rafiq, we are at a stage where the room is full. And that is a very, very encouraging thing and exciting thing to know. Today, as you all know, that we stand at the intersection of science, technology, and patient care, where the impossible is becoming possible as we further move along. From groundbreaking therapies to digital healthcare solutions, they are reshaping how we practice medicine in today's world. And soon you will be hearing from very innovative companies, the startup companies, the people who have really gone ahead at the edge and who live on the edge, especially if I look at Dr. Rao, that how this innovation can be brought into the healthcare and in our daily practice. So before going any further, let me just go over a couple of housekeeping items. I've been tasked to wrap this entire session in 40 minutes, 30 minutes of our presentations, 10 minutes for moderating the remaining questions for this. So at the 4 minutes, I will inform the presenters that there is 1 minute left, and at 30 seconds, I will give them the final countdown. And then I would request them respectfully ahead of time that they will let the podium free for the next presenter there. And with that, I would like to go ahead and invite our first presenter here. This company is InnovaCare, and I would like to have Dr. Rahul Rao to come and present their innovative approach to clinical research, showcasing how their physician-led expertise and strategic location are poised to transform the industry. Dr. Rao has spent years building multiple clinical research sites and research enabling networks. He currently is serving as the Vice President for Research and Business Development at InnovaCare.
Thank you very much. So thank you very much, everyone, for having me. I am Rahul Rao. I'm actually not a physician, just wanted to clarify, but I really do appreciate the opportunity to be here and to pitch our organization, InnovaCore. The slide is not progressing.
Press it a little bit harder.
It's going back, it's not moving forward.
Are you holding it?
There we go. Okay, apologies. So, speaking about InnovaCore, this is our beautiful facility right here in the Texas Hill Country, not too far away. We were founded by physician experts who are leaders in their field and entrepreneurs themselves. And their goal was to look at the research landscape, which they had been working in for decades, and to find a way to eliminate the inefficiencies. And to do so in a way, because they are physicians, that minimally disrupts the practice of physicians so that we can integrate ourselves in more clinics and reach more patients. The strategic location that we have here in the San Antonio area is important because San Antonio is the epicenter of the obesity epidemic here in the United States, and there is a tremendous amount of clinical research in that field. We have a proven team that is not just our physician leaders. It includes people like myself, people like our other executives who are actually have spent decades in not just clinical research, but in the pharmaceutical industry. And they have the background to help us get to where we need. Our leadership goes on beyond that to our distinguished board. Our board members were not just chosen because they were important people, and they are. They were chosen because they are the type of people who can get us where we want to go. And so that was very important for us to have a board that enabled us to get where we want to be. So this is a little bit of the market overview in clinical research. Right now it's a $60 billion industry, and it's growing at about 5.5% annually, predicted to grow that way up until 2030 at least. And again, as I had said, you can see directly from here that oncology is one of the largest areas in clinical research by market size, but growing segments include obesity medicine. And for that reason, we've partnered with a reference laboratory that specializes in identifying rare cancers. And what that allows us to do is actually be involved in a lot of clinical trials that many other organizations would not be able to support. And beyond that, our presence here in San Antonio allows us to reach patients who have, the comorbidities associated with obesity. And not only that, we have physicians who are part of our team who are board certified in obesity medicine to ensure that we are best placed to capture those patients and to be in an excellent position for the clinical research of the future as well. So again, the organization is about solving problems, eliminating the bottlenecks that exist in clinical research. Currently, the way that the model works is that you have all of these players, you have laboratories, you have the physical sites where physicians are meeting their patients, and you have sponsors and CROs who are helping to manage the entire process. And what we've decided is rather than having all of these individual stakeholders, we can bring everything under one umbrella and eliminate the waste that occurs when you have multiple multiple approaches to the same problem going on from multiple companies. And instead of all of that communication back and forth from one company to another, this all happens all in one house, and it's much more streamlined. Beyond that, we are looking at diverse patient populations, Hispanic patients, and patients who are Pakistani as well, as we reach out into Pakistan and build some of the first research networks in that country. And what that does is it allows us to build a broader picture of the real patient population, which you as physicians are treating, and it helps us to bring innovative solutions that actually meet that patient model rather than just for the Caucasian patient model, which is how most of medicine is today. And then again, we've actually incorporated software into what we are doing that is AI enabled, and what that allows us to do is reduce time in finding patients that fit the protocols that we have been given by our sponsors.
1 minute to go.
And then again, multiple synergistic income streams are present here. And you can see that there is no organization which is valued less than 100 million, which is in research that has combined all of these features under one roof. Right now, we value ourselves at $20 million. We started at a $10 million valuation with a $200,000 investment, which has carried us the 6 months to here and allowed us to build all of this in the last 6 months, including having $3 million of contracts, which we are actively searching for sites for. Again, we've also established an IRB, and the reason we did that was to further make ourselves more efficient and to ensure that we don't have any jams or any sort of roadblocks when it comes to conducting clinical research. This is our team. We are very thankful for our team. We have Dr. Rao, who actually was one of the original founders of clinical research site in one of the largest physician-owned hospitals in this country, and within 4 years, he took them from 12 clinical trials to over 300. And
Kindly wrap up.
this is basically our ask. We're looking for an investor. Again, we're looking for investors who, like our board, help us to get where we want to go, believe in our vision, and understand what we're trying to achieve. Thank you so much. Whether you are an investor or you're a physician who's considering opening up a clinical research site, I think that we would benefit from you joining us if you believe in our vision and you believe in gaining access to more patients and making research more efficient for everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Rao. Next, we have MedSite AI, a company which is revolutionizing healthcare through its conventional conversational EHR and AI-assisted workflows, which are designed to enhance patient interaction. For that, I would like to have Mr. Aslam Hassan, a dynamic tech leader, to come and present. He is the CEO of MedSite, where he spearheads the development of AI-driven solutions for electronic health records.
I think something happened. No, he's
Oh, we have to skip Easy Shifa and we'll come in. They weren't ready earlier. MedSite, yeah. I'll keep on going with his introduction. He has an MBA from University of Washington, and he has a profound grasp of entrepreneurship and strategic business development.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Let me see. I'm not able to connect.
Should be good now.
Okay. All right. So our mission is to reduce providers' burnout and increase top-line revenue, and we are revolutionizing the EHR with the AI-powered efficiency. This is our team. I am Aslam. I'm the CEO, the co-founder, and the leader. With me, we have Jamal Hussain, who's our clinical advisor. There is a CTO who is not here. And we also have a Sayyid Sajjad, who is also here with the partner and CEO of Easy Shifa, who is doing our business development. What are the problems that we are solving? There are three personas that we are focusing on. Of course, the nurse, the physicians, and the patients. For the nurse, we have a limited time to input data. We have repetitive information gathering, right? For the physicians, there is a pre and during visit and a post visit. It's all started with the patient research, which takes a lot of time for a complicated patient, right? So we need to have an AI in hand to do all the research. So that's what we're focusing on. And that causes the throughput and delays, and then you have a limited time allocation with the patient. Post visit, you have to have spending additional hours for documenting the notes and the system, right? Input the proper medication and everything. That causes a burnout. For every 1 hour for patient interaction, the doctor has to spend 2 hours with, documenting the notes and everything, and even doing the research. And of course, that causes the patient for the lack of personal care inside the diagnosis that's not available. So we need to tackle this problem. What is our solution? Automated intake and encounter. You need to transcribe the interaction with the patient. You guys can say there are so many solutions out there, but the unique thing about us is the multilingual. You talk in Urdu, you talk in Arabic, you talk in any language. It will take it, transform that into SOAP notes, so it will be EHR ready for you. The third thing, It'll pull the insights and and do the documentation for vitals, notes, and everything, description, whatever it is. And it will automatically update with our optional intelligent EHR, or it can interact with any other HR that is available to you. Copilot, that's a key differentiator. We will retrieve timely information from EHR using natural language. Think about Alexa, right? Ask, what is the age of the patient? Simple answer. It will reply back to you. Tell me the history of his weight or trend or whatever. It will let you know, without going into the complicated reports and everything in there. You can start using day one. And by the way, if anybody wants to do the demo or see the demo, I have it with me and I can show it to you how it works. This is the kind of wheel that we are, kind of creating. Multilingual voice and AI-enabled assistant. That's our goal, right? So we capture the information, medical and professionals talking to the patient. We do the medical, the AI insights. We create the notes. We throw it in the med site, right? We talk to the existing EHR so we can reason over that data. And then we even further support that with the clinical decision support tools right out there. WebMD, anybody you wanted to talk to, we can pull the research and bring it in front of you using our kind of interaction with NLP. The value prop, 70% free of the physician time, 50% increased in patient throughput that caused 8 additional patients per day per physician. That actually, kind of corresponds to additional up to $2 million per year. And of course, that would cause a significant reduction in physicians burnout and dedication attention to the patient. Here is our competition. Nobody comes close to us. We have MedSide AI. You can see that we have about 4 key differentiating things: voice transcription, language conversion, info retrieval using AI voice, and optional intelligent EMR. None of these folks have it. Only thing that they have is the voice transcription and notes creation, and that actually only with the English language. We do the multilingual, right? That's where the language conversion insights come in. Thank you so much. I think my investment slide didn't make it to this presentation, but we are asking for $2.5 million, and then we are looking to spend a lot of fun into the marketing and, of course, building this to the whole complete product. But we do have a demo. I appreciate if you can come down to me and I can show it to you how it works. Thank you so much.
Thank you for keeping it in time. Next we have Revive, an industry leader providing comprehensive solutions that span the entire life cycle of medical innovation, from technical feasibility and product design to AI healthcare softwares. For that, I have Dr. Ali here to present. He is the current CEO. He holds a PhD in Material Science and Engineering from the University of Sheffield, and he has played a key role in establishing Pakistan's first ISO 13485 accredited medical device industry, which was approved by DRAP. In simple terms, they were behind the first bench, to be developed within Pakistan, and he led the department at NUST for engineering there, and then and at Comstek. And he has been awarded a National Honor Award from Government of Pakistan for his entrepreneurship.
Thank you for the introduction. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Murtaza Najamat Ali, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Revive Medical Technologies, which is a USA-based company having its satellite office in and a very unique R&D and production facility in Pakistan. And it's basically, we call it one-stop shop, where we can convert innovative ideas into market-ready product or ideas into invoice. So I'm basically by profession a biomedical engineer, and I've been working with the federal government for the last more than 2 decades. And I've been involved in the research and development, in the production, in the development of the IP, transfer of technology related to medical devices and healthcare technologies. And I'm the recipient of Prime Minister Office, the directive which was given to me by the Prime Minister Office to establish country's first medical device industry, and I founded Pakistan's first medical device industry, which was involved in the production of cardiovascular devices and respiratory devices. And I left federal government a year ago and I joined Revive Medical Technologies. So with that backdrop about me, a year ago we started our operations, and we put together a very seasoned, experienced and cross-functional team, both the technical team as well as the regulatory team, who have been involved with me for the last more than 1 decade, both in the research and development and production of medical devices and healthcare technologies. And because of this, we have both manufacturing focus as well as R&D focus. And our unique selling proposition is that we are one-stop shop and we are turnkey. There is there has been a growing problem with regards to a medical device innovation process, that physicians, universities, manufacturers, startups, they've been facing a global challenge of getting a quick access of their innovative ideas into market. So that actually, because this all the medical device R&D companies in the world, they are fragmented, and this process of medical device innovation has always been a multi-valued approach and a process which made this whole process very time-taking and costly. So the Revive Medical Technology is a one-stop shop where we are not only having highly skilled, experienced and diverse team of engineers, scientists and regulatory specialists who have been involved in the production and research and development of medical devices, but we do have a very unique and well-furnished R&D and production facility, and that makes the whole process very time efficient and cost effective. Our services span around in 4 different areas on turnkey basis, which are the prototype and product development, and commissioning of the production lines, and testing and validation of the products, and fourthly, the regulatory approvals and regulatory compliances associated with the healthcare technologies. This is actually a quick glance of our unique facility comprising of everything. You can see we have everything under one roof, and our areas of expertise is very diverse. We are into development of active medical devices, non-active medical devices, into biomaterials and coating formulations and AI-based healthcare software solutions, and then manufacturing consultancy and regulatory sort of services. So, and then device testing and validation also. So these are our clients. Our clients are basically universities and manufacturers, physicians, physician-led companies and clinical setups. And we are converting their IPs and their innovative ideas into reality, into market-ready products.
1 minute to go.
Yeah. So these are some of the current projects we are doing. So recently there's a breakthrough because in a very short span of time we not only developed almost more than dozen of healthcare technologies and medical devices. We established Saudi Arabia's first coronary stent production unit in Jeddah, and my team is going again to set up their second production line. And this is the traction where we've been involved in the last 12 months. And now we are getting into another dimension where we are starting contract manufacturing with regards to medical devices and healthcare technologies. So I'm wrapping it up now. So we are raising fund with the like $2 million with the pre-money valuation of like $20 million with 10% equity dilution. So if anybody is interested, you can reach out to me after this session, and I'll be very excited to have a discussion about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Now, let's turn our attention to Legend EMR under the leadership of Dr. Rao, who is a key player in transforming the healthcare landscape through their innovative electronic medical record solutions. He's a dermatologist, an entrepreneur, professor of dermatology, and lately a politician as well.
Assalamu alaikum. First of all, there is not only one Rao in APPNA, there are many Raos. So I always look at the first name when there is a lot of turmoil and chatter. It may not be Babar Rao, it may be Suhail Rao or Kamran or anybody. So all Raos are not the same. Just as it started.
But there is only one incoming APPNA person.
Okay. So I think he's working on it. But basically, we have an EMR, like many of you have EMRs, and I have been using this, I call it actually intelligent assistant. I turned AI around, and AI is my assistant actually, so I call it intelligent assistant. And these are the issues like operational difficulties and user experience and cost, etc. And the solution ready, somebody else was here before me, is AI. If more you incorporate AI into it, the better it gets. So here, this is my EMR. Basically, this is not published. Danish likes references. You can talk without that. This is published. Like if you want to do chart review, computers do better than you. So you put a little AI tool, it'll do your chart review. This is my regular patient, which gives you a summary what's happened, what you're going to do next. And this is not published. AI does better than humans, no question, and we have it in the system. And then the next thing really is we were all trained to be a doctor writing this soap note on a white paper. Ever since we started medicine from Pakistan to wherever we are. And that's what we have. We have a soap note. A simple one. You can either type, you can dictate, you can use smart phrases, or you can use I call it Sina, like a Busina, which basically you can do audio to text, or you could be talking like among yourself and it takes the notes. So you have various ways of typing the note or writing the note or using AI to do the note. And I can tell anybody, sit with me. Dermatology note, we do it in 45 seconds. Obviously, if it's a cardiology note, it may take 2 minutes, but it's really easy to use. And you can use. Okay, so can you help?
Give it a try now. It should be good.
Okay.
It's like you're on a pit stop.
Yeah, so I'm going to skip this slide. So basically now we have it, it's working, we have like many patients on it, and we are basically referral based. Everybody who's using it is known to us as a doctor, and then they use it. We are not in the market advertising. Our plan is we'll use AI and maybe become viral that way, but no major marketing effort. And then this is what we have done so far. This is what money we raised through our own resources, no loans. And this is what we have spent so far. And what I'm really asking is, it's not that much money. What I'm asking is if any of the doctors or health related field are interested, who wants to use it and improve it and work with me, then we are interested. Otherwise, just money, this is not that much money, we can use our own money, but I'm looking for brains like Cheema Saab and Shahid and everybody else. If you want to get involved, then we get involved. And this is my team. Every one of them, he has developed 4 softwares with me. He's our IT, been working with me 19 years, 20 years in compliance, sales. So we have just a solid team, simple system. We're just getting started to launch to rest of the world. For us, it's working. Here we go. I saved you 1 minute.
Thank you. Up next is DocPro, which is committed to implementing value-based care, focusing on improving patient experience, reducing physician burnout, lowering healthcare costs, and enhancing population health. For this, I would like to have Mr. Tanveer Hassan, who is the visionary behind this and founder and CEO, to come and present. He brings with him a decade of experience as a physician and healthcare, so Dr. Hassan. And he has extensive background in consulting for various New York-based clinics and has been a pivotal role in shaping DocPro's innovative approach. Dr. Hassan.
Hello, everybody. I'm extremely excited to be a part of this meeting today, and I want to introduce DocPro. And let's go to the first slide. So, good thing is like we know that how big the problem is because we are seeing like all these innovators here. They're talking about EMR. They're talking about like how to optimize their workflow, how to bring like joy in practicing medicine. So our actually tagline is very simple, that we help practice thrive, right? So how we are doing it, we are actually trying to make the doctors' administrative work more efficient. We are reducing the administrative burden, and at the same time, we are making sure that the doctors are getting highest revenue they're supposed to get. So first thing is like we already proved ourselves in multiple practices in New York. And this is Dr. Atal Chaudhary, president of NYC Docs, has multiple practices there. And once we started working with him, we showed that how we increased the revenue by 37%. We actually increased the claim submission 3 times faster. Also, we increased the new patient retention. At the same time, it's like almost faster, like 30% faster completion of the charts. So the way he said, I loved it, and he said that, like Doc Pro actually make my practice like a well-oiled machine. So that's what we are. So one thing I always like to say that what the mind doesn't know, the eye cannot see. The doctors being physicians studying medicine for a long time, it's actually quite impossible to understand all the healthcare nuances in USA, right? So every day the systems are changing, and change is the only constant here. So every time in terms of coding, in terms of like billing, value-based care, population health, things are changing every single day. So to be up to date with all this healthcare system and be generating more revenue at the same time like reducing the administrative tasks, it's crazy. So first, like how we are doing it. We are actually helping in pre-visit planning, as also like our fellow presenters say that it's very important, because the first thing is checklist. Because decision fatigue is one thing most of the doctors are suffering, because every single day the amount of clinical decisions they have to take is kind of quite crazy, that if we expect them to do all the administrative work at the same time doing all the clinical decisions. So we want to give them a checklist to make sure that what are the things pending for the patients before they see, and at the same time the coding suggestions and everything, so that they can optimize their revenue. Next, we are it's going to the coding optimization again. And very important thing here, I want to mention that the HCC coding, which is actually connected to value-based payment right now. So if we are thinking about the cost savings, and then we are thinking about like the reduced hospitalization, at the same time, if you want to make sure the primary care physicians are actually using the right HCC codes to make sure that the total amount of revenue allocated for them, they have to use the HCC coding. And that's where our next feature is coming, which is easy referral. We want to make sure that when the primary care physicians are actually referring to the different specialists, they're receiving the consult notes back. It's a huge pain point for most of the doctors. So there's one story I'd like to share here. That what happened, that this is not only about the primary care physician, not only about the specialist, it's also about the patient. One of the patient, very young patient, he had like high blood pressure, and then the patient was having palpitation. So the primary care physician mentioned that, like, why don't you go to the cardiologist? He didn't think that it's actually important enough for the patient to go to the cardiologist, and eventually the patient ended up having a syncopal attack in the middle of the road. And eventually he was hospitalized in Bellevue for almost like 21 days. The gist of this story is the referral loop. How can we complete it? How can we make sure that every patient, every primary care physician, at the same time, and every specialist are in the same loop, and we are making sure that the loop is completed. So next is closing the care gap. This is big in New York right now, in some other states also, that the quality incentive payment. How can we unlock the quality incentive payment? All the work you are doing, you are making sure that patients are actually getting the screening done and all, but sometimes the reporting codes are not given. Sometimes this is all the Excel files, all those like data are not actually sent to the insurance companies. So we want to make sure that the doctors are getting reimbursed for all the work they're doing.
Dr. Hassan, 1 minute to go.
Yes, so the last is value proposition. So what we are doing, so we are actually targeting at unit level. We want to make sure the doctors are generating more revenue for every encounter with the right coding and also with the charting. And we are reducing the administrative tasks by 25%, because we are working on top of the EMR. So every EMR we can work on, and the doctors, it's quite impossible for the doctor to ask for them to change their EMR. So there's a huge market here. It's like a $60 billion total market size. And we are here, what is the ask? So here definitely we want to know more doctors. We want to get more referrals for the physician investors and great minds here. And we want to connect with the brilliant people. And at the same time, I think all the problems were mentioned before, because this is the big problem, that the physician burnout and all these things are already we know. And this problem is getting bigger, because every single 10,000 patients are actually getting into Medicare, and definitely primary care physician shortage is there. So we have a great team.
And kindly wrap up now.
And thank you so much.
Finally, we have Easy Shifa, which is committed for accessible, affordable, and quality primary health care. And it aspires to streamline the fragmented healthcare system. For that, Mr. Syed Sajjad, a seasoned project management expert with over 28 years of industry experience working with AT&T, Bell's Lab, cellular wireless, F5 networks, so on and so forth. And he has worked across multiple continents, Asia, Europe, and Americas, and he is here to present the English program.
Assalamu alaikum and thank you everyone. So I'll be very quick. I will go back. Can it go back? Can you start?
Start, right?
Yeah, from the beginning.
There you go.
Okay. So we realized when I was working that sometimes simple solution is the best solution, and maybe a problem is big, but you can provide a simple solution. So the whole our goal is to provide primary health care accessible and affordable. You can see there are lots of stats available that the main problems are due to primary health care. If you can address them initially, you can do a number of things. And the solution is what we are providing. I'll quickly go. So we provide sort of a 360-degree holistic solution for your primary health care. Directly going to the products. So this is our base kiosk, which provides lots of tests, including ECG, derma solution, and ENT solution. We have about 300 installed in Pakistan, 20 in Nigeria. Now we are going to Sierra Leone also. Afghanistan is next, and in GCC also. So they are providing lots of facilities. Plus we have introduced rapid testing into it also. This is our solution that is vehicle-based and boat-based. During the floods of Pakistan, we did thousands of consultations using this solution, and this ruggedized mobile solution is now finding its way into Gaza also. So we are going with Gaza in a couple of months. This is a solution which we are very proud of. This is for pregnancy management. We have integrated ultrasound, and now we are streaming ultrasound across the globe. So our doctors who are sitting in, let's say, Mississauga, they are seeing the ultrasounds in people for women in Mardan. So there are lots of things are happening right now. Fetal Doppler and lots of other basic stuff available. These are our new kiosks, which will be available most likely first quarter of 2025. They are mostly targeted towards GCC, especially Saudi and UAE market, self-service. This is the initial design. The new iteration of designs are coming. This is a very interesting, this is again a kiosk based for student screening. We already have about 25,000 plus students registered. These are available in schools where we provide the initial sort of a screening for the students, and then provide a dashboard to the parents so that they can see what is happening to the health of their kids. This is doing really well right now. This is our contactless vital based on RPPG technology. This is also something that is Ministry of Health in Saudi Arabia is testing right now. With contactless, we are providing you with temperature, with oxygen level, stress level, heart rate. Blood sugar is still under testing. There's a lot of error rate right there now, but it is working as we speak. This is basic telehealth application. This is our counseling. This is also going really good. The number of people are testing, especially in GCC. Our co-pilot for doctors. This is implemented by 2 companies in Pakistan right now, and they are testing it as we speak. Our healthcare assistant for patient also, we have integrated this with our application. Quickly, this is another very a product that is being received really well. The power of AI with WhatsApp and in Urdu conversational models. So we have tested with more than 1,000 individuals in Pakistan, especially in Sindh, Punjab and KPK, and they were extremely happy. So just like I can give you a demo of this also, you can speak to it in a very, very basic language and it will respond, and we have added images to it. So for example, you can take an image of your skin, send it, will come back with the details. It is working as if right now KPK government has already accepted it, and we'll be launching it very soon.
Mr. Sujat, 1 minute to go.
Yeah, sure. Quickly company information. This is the time we are looking at. Current deployments in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Kuwait, Nigeria, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia. Next is Sierra Leone and in Bahrain also. This is a student market. This is some of our international partners. Corporate offices. This is our team. Right now, most of the team is already, Nan is from HP background. Dr. Babar used to be in APPNA also, I think. We are looking for 1 million. This speech quickly just added. So if any questions you have, I'm here. I'll be able to answer anything.
Thank you so much. I've been thrilled personally to share this podium with the visionaries and leaders who have been pushing the boundaries of what healthcare can achieve. As we navigate this complex yet thrilling landscape, it is important to remember that innovation is not just about what's new or cutting edge. It is about reimagining how we can improve lives, how we can increase the efficiency, and solve the pressing challenges and problems of today, tomorrow, with creativity and collaboration today. So with that, Dr. Bhatti, as he is so innovative, he has improvised a new way of having a moderated session for questions and answers. All the founders and CEOs will be available after this next session. They will all be outside in the hallway after the fireside chat is done, and then they will be available to answer all those questions. So we are not going to have a moderated question answer session here right now. And I think that will be much better because you have generated a lot of excitement here, and then they can come. Those who actually have their checks ready can meet with them right now.
All right, thank you so much. You can please join us. So we're going to keep moving and stay on time. Remember, we have a council meeting at the end here, so we want to finish on time. So you saw some of the excellent startups that we have. You can see how they are identifying the problems and trying to come up with solutions, and that's what you're trying to help when you come into entrepreneurship. You either launch your own solution for a problem, or you advise them, you invest with them, you guide them, you network with them. So to talk more about it, I have invited two of our sister organizations to have some conversation with us and tell us how these things can be done in an effective way. How can we as physicians be more effective in interacting and networking with these startups? How can we be an entrepreneur, and how can we invest with these entrepreneurs? So my first conversation or a fireside chat will be on investing in startups, and for that I partnered with Overseas Pakistani Entrepreneurs Network. Open is an organization of Pakistani entrepreneurs globally with a strong presence in US, and these are Pakistani diaspora entrepreneurs, all aspects of life, not just physicians. They do have a physician chapter, and they have been members as entrepreneurs, business leaders, corporate professionals, highly successful. Many of them have multiple exits, and who have kindly shared some of their time to answer some of our questions and have more conversation. And hopefully this will be a start of conversation that you can follow up with them. You can be part of Open, and you can also reach out to them for ideas. So let me first welcome Mr. Atir Sulaiman. Atir is a former professor at UT Austin. He founded and led the tech startup Flux7, which was successfully acquired by Fortune 100 company NTT. Atir has also supported healthcare startups like HippoChat with their technology development and acquisition by Everbridge. And currently he's the founder of Vixel. Vixel is a startup accelerator which is focusing on helping early stage companies scale and innovate. And Atir is a founding partner of Open Chapter in Austin, a network that fosters entrepreneurs. He holds a PhD, MS, and BS in computer engineering from UT Austin. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
And then our second partner friend is Mr. Bilal Ahmed. Bilal is a serial entrepreneur. He co-founded and led SonaSoft as the CTO. And the company went public in the OTC market and was later acquired by a health tech company. And as he's also the founder CEO of GrotaByte, and he has established an enterprise information archiving and e-discovery company that is a cornerstone in meeting regulatory compliances. He's also the founder and CEO of Speech AI. This conversational AI startup revolutionizes communication with its unique features and real-time translation for multilingual customers, doctor, patients, and project calls, etc. So in addition to his entrepreneurial ventures, Bilal is the chairman and founding partner of the Open Austin chapter, a network of entrepreneurs. Welcome.
Thank you.
So it's my great pleasure to have our friends here, and I will just take some time to ask them some questions, and the hope is that you will get to hear from them, and now you've been introduced to them, and you are more than welcome to reach out to them and connect with them and ask questions and be part of Open, especially if you are here in Texas. So let me start maybe with Atir, you, and ask that you have that background that many of us have, that you were in academia, you were a professor working in university, but then you were able to launch successfully a startup company and develop it and grow it. How is that transition? How challenging it is, and what message it is for the physicians who want to do this?
frankly, I think academia is one of the best startup schools you can go to because in academia and research, we learn the experimental mindset. We learn the ability to fail because not every research that we do pans out. And lastly, when you do have a solution, the ultimate success of an academician is to be able to come up with an idea and then present it to the world and get a journal paper accepted or get research accepted, which is basically the same as selling your product for a startup. So, and then I also was a teacher, and teaching teaches you persuasion. That's the best kind of persuasion, where you have a non-captive audience that you learn how to capture their attention, which is basically sales, marketing, raising money, all of that combined into one. So I would say it is not a difficult transition. In fact, in many ways, it's very similar once you apply the right mindset to it.
Wonderful. And then a quick follow-up would be that you have done a project in health tech. You have done HIPAA chat. And so how do you see the blend of tech and healthcare evolving in startup, and what opportunity it is for physicians as APPNA?
I had made a list to answer that question, except I feel like all the startups did an excellent job, starting from patient experience, patient care, physician burnout, staff burnout. I think all of those are problems that we face as healthcare providers. And I feel we are basically on the right track with the conversation we just had.
Wonderful. So let me switch over to you, Bilal, and continue this question about AI. AI is a big buzz. It's really taking everything by storm, and clearly AI is already in healthcare. At least 3 or 4 companies talked about AI in healthcare. Probably everyone did. How do you see that the role of AI transforming healthcare? But what are the challenges of launching? It sounds
when you go out there and they say, hey, they're already building things like that, right? So definitely, there are definitely, on the healthcare side, what we see is there are a lot of opportunities, especially on the, doctor-patient side, or telemedicine is happening, and then, they're multilingual, even, the patients are multilingual. So it's a great opportunity, and, doctors only have 15 minutes to talk with the patients. So I think there are a lot of opportunities on the conversational AI to really make the engagement between the doctor and patients valuable.
Wonderful. So this is a question for both of you. You can probably answer one by one. Both of you have had successful startups. You have, I'm sure, raised funds. You have had exits. You have had even taken public in a over-the-counter market. And when we are looking at some opportunities as an angel investor, many times we want to continue being a physician, and rather than launching a startup, we just want to invest or advise a startup. What would be the unique thing that we should be looking for in identifying, okay, this looks like a great idea, let me get on board with it? Maybe Bilal, you can start, and then Nathir.
Yeah. So what I have learned is that, of course, we always say that start with the problem, and definitely, it can work. But there are certain things like, there are inflection points, when we talk about, for example, there could be a technology, as we are talking about AI, and even within AI, we talk about LLMs, and even within LLMs, we talk about, certain things. Similarly, when, for example, iPhone came in, iPhone 4S, and it came with the GPS, at that time, for example, Uber figured it out, okay, there was a problem with the taxi, that if you're ordering a taxi and it takes so much time. So I think that what I have learned is that, understanding that if there is a regulatory compliance or a technology inflection point, and then there is an insight, if I have an insight on the problem, and then basically, start with the movement, right? Because always there are early adopters, there's a crossing the chasm. So, even if you look at Tesla, for example, they started with a high amp, right? So basically they believed in that movement of the energy. So that makes it much easier for an idea to basically grow if we understand that there is an inflection point, and then we have an insight, and then we can decide the movement. And then, so I just believe that it makes easier. Yeah.
That's great. Anything you want to add, Nathir?
No. Points very well made. I think as an investor, perhaps the most important thing is to
think of the startup more like a hierarchy of things you should evaluate, in my opinion. So at the top is the entrepreneur. That's the team that you cannot change. So that's the most important aspect of any company. The second is the problem they're trying to solve, as Bilal pointed out. And third, and perhaps a tongue-in-cheek statement, but typically the least important, is the actual solution. Because the solution is the one that's going to change the most as you will go to market and learn from it. Problem is the one that will change the second, and the founders are not going to change if that company is going anywhere. So perhaps the only thing I would add is that if you think about it from that way, evaluate the team first, evaluate the problem they're solving second, evaluate the solution, or oftentimes as called the idea last. That's my formula for when I make my investments.
Okay. And then I'm going to flip it and ask a quick question, maybe a brief comment. What value does angel investor brings to a startup? Why angel investors could be useful, or physicians could be useful as angel investors to startup?
I mean, yeah, definitely. If angel investor is on the same domain, right? So domain expertise are definitely very useful. Yes, the money part is important, but as in the world of AI, there are more and more vertical AI solutions are building up, and that's where it becomes so important that if it's in the healthcare, it makes perfect sense to have partnership or having an angel from a doctor perspective or medical perspective.
I think it's in a team, it's the gaps that you have to bridge. So if you're working with a team that maybe a technical team but is lacking the domain expertise on the medical side, that's the biggest value that you could bring to the table as an angel investor. If it's a team that's lagging, for example, sales or marketing expertise, that's what you would bring to the table. So it's most situational in where they lack. But if there's one step up, which is, let's talk in terms of bringing in discipline, because most startups actually would crash because of just not having the right discipline, kind of that experimental mindset that we talked about. And so bringing that discipline to the company, holding the founders accountable, sometimes having the difficult conversations that founders are not wanting to have, that actually is one of the biggest values an early stage investor can bring.
Awesome, thank you so much. Thank you for having and taking the time off on the busy day. Please reach out to Open. It's a wonderful network. They're very experienced in entrepreneurship. They can guide you for your startup, introduce you to other startups. And it's a huge resource for us that we should more explore. So let me change over to our next friends in Society of Physician Entrepreneurs, or SOAP. So I will be inviting my colleague, co-chair, Dr. Shahid Rafiq, to moderate this session, as he has a very close and long relationship with SOAP. And
thank you, Danish. Yes, like Danish said, I have a very long, that was actually my first introduction to entrepreneurship when I joined SOAP way back in, I think, 2013 in Washington, D.C. in the national chapter of SOAP. So it's my pleasure to welcome the SOAP team here. The Francisco Arredondo, is he here, or Dan Hargore? Yes, please. Okay. So I guess we have one, so one-to-one,
So it's gonna be just me, huh?
one-to-one conversation. So Mr. Dan Hargrove is JDLLM. He's a founder of Texas Biotech Ventures, Chief Strategy Officer of Telprian, co-founder and past president Cancer Insight LLC, now Luma Bridge, co-founder Palo V LLC, former CEO Mtora Bioscience, initial investor Slope IO Inc. So introduction to SOAP is that SOAP is basically a Society of Physician Entrepreneur, and it's a global organization, non-profit, open biomedical and clinical innovation and entrepreneur network. And they actually recently we started talking to them, opening a Pakistan chapter of SOAP, because they have chapter in India, in Dubai, and other countries. So I'll ask Dan to reintroduce yourself, because I see a lot of these companies that you led, and so give us a brief introduction of yourself as an entrepreneur and background.
Yeah, thank you. I'm a native of West Texas, and I raised my family here in San Antonio. And then, so I'm actually a lawyer by training, right? And I practiced law for about 15 years here in San Antonio. And most of my practice was representing biotech companies and pharma companies in federal court or before the Food and Drug Administration. At the same time, the other part of my client base were physicians, right? And so I have a couple of former clients in the community. And so how I got involved in this industry is actually a client of mine, a surgical oncologist and actually a drug developer himself, asked me to start Cancer Insight. And Cancer Insight is a drug development company. And I never envisioned myself being an entrepreneur. In a sense, as a lawyer, you are an entrepreneur. But I never envisioned starting biotech companies. But it's been a wonderful industry. And over the years, I've had the privilege of networking with physician entrepreneurs. And I have the highest respect for you all. I had the highest respect for physicians. But when you have the combination of a physician or a PhD scientist or an innovator who goes into the health tech space, I think it's just a wonderful field, right? And at the same time, some of the presenters showed us earlier, and we all know, the field has just got great potential, right? We are on the cusp of a revolution, whether it's AI, revolution of new drugs. There's so much opportunity to do good and to make a lot of money at the same time. And also, I've had the benefit of traveling. I'm a former Army officer. I've been an international exchange student, and I've traveled the world. The opportunity with technology to bring healthcare to so many parts of the world, I think, is fascinating as well. So you asked about SOAP, right?
Right, yes.
So I'm the only non-physician, I think, who's the chapter president of SOAP. My partner and I, Dr. George Peoples, are the San Antonio chapter presidents of SOAP. It's not a very active organization, quite frankly. However, Jeff Hosfield introduced me.
That's what who introduced me to
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, but there are a number of organizations in Texas, in particular, and I can only really talk intelligently about Texas, that are set up. Like the two earlier presenters talked about the organizations around UT Austin. But I've been in Houston the past few days. I'm a little bit tired because I just got back in from Houston. But there are a number of organizations that are providing opportunities for physician scientists in Houston in particular, and also in Dallas, to give them money, give them opportunities, to put them in touch with venture capitalists so they can commercialize the technologies that they're developing, both in their practice, but also some of those physicians that are in the academic world as well.
Right. So basically, I think we have not a lot of time left, but a few of the questions that people have in mind, and if you can summarize most of them in one answer so that we can wrap it up, is that how do you identify initially, early on, how to validate an idea and whether it will be commercial on commercial scaling after the idea is there?
Yeah, I think commercializing medical product is a team sport, and I think the first thing, because I teach this at MD Anderson, is you've got to have a market opportunity, right? I work a lot with physician scientists at MD Anderson in particular, and they're doing incredible science, but oftentimes that science does not translate into a commercial product. So you really need to think long and hard. Is it a commercial product? How much money is it going to take to get to the marketplace? And is it a crowded landscape where you're just going to have too much competition?
And when you register, is there a formula or preferred, where do you incorporate your startup?
Well, that's a complicated answer, and I'll be here at the dinner as well, so I'd love to have a discussion. But it's very easy to do a limited liability company if you're in Texas or your home jurisdiction. That's the easiest thing to do. However, if you are going to take on certainly institutional capital, like venture capital, then the go-to standard in the United States is to incorporate in Delaware. That makes it easiest for institutional investors. I've got some scar tissue. I've learned the hard way on that.
Finally, I would say that you spend a couple of minutes on how to advise physicians to get involved, because we have a barrier. We think of ourselves as patient care, clinical clinicians, and I think we have a psychological barrier and logistical, of course, followed by that, to jump into this space of entrepreneurship and innovation. So what advice or insight do you have for them to cross that barrier and come into this space?
Yeah, I think because of my prior legal practice and having represented so many physician entrepreneurs, I do have a unique perspective. And I know, at least in the States, that the practice of medicine is not getting easier, right? Compensation is not going up like it used to. And it's harder to have your own practice, right? Physicians are becoming more and more employees of large organizations, and I think there's a lot of burnout. That's been my observation, okay? So I think entrepreneurship is an outlet, but you gotta be careful. Now, I became an entrepreneur because if I failed, I could go back to a very lucrative law practice. Same thing with my business partner. If our first company, Cancer Insight, had failed, he could go back to being a surgical oncologist. So we had that fallback. But to answer your question, I would say, especially in Texas, there are a number of organizations at universities or nonprofits that are there to support innovators, right? I can tell you in Texas, there's a huge thirst to commercialize medical technologies in the state of Texas. The state itself and universities have put a lot of resources and money on the table to help innovators develop. So bottom line is, there's support out there, and I would tap into all the resources that exist in your local community.
Great, thank you, Dan. And Dan will be available, like he said, after this and even at dinner. So please reach out to him for any questions that come as an afterthought. Thank you.
Last concluding parts of the meeting. It gives me great pleasure to invite one of our entrepreneur champion in healthcare that I have personally known. That was part of a personal inspiration to start on this journey of health tech entrepreneurship, angel investment. It's my pleasure to invite Mr. Farooq Usman. He's the founder and CEO of Bionics. It's the only company in the history of dialysis that has produced devices and treated patients with only $13 million raise. So it's a penny budget in terms of US companies, and they are really taking head on the large giants of dialysis. And so Farooq has extensive prior work in health tech. His work has contributed to equipment in every city in America. So whether it be kidney dialysis machines, insulin pumps, cancer drug delivery systems, artificial pancreas. He's a LUMS alumni, Harvard grad, and has multiple patents under his name. And he has now been developing bloodless dialysis and innovating into the future of dialysis at home. So Farooq, please walk us through your journey and your inspirations.
Okay. So before we get started, very, very special thanks to Dr. Danish, Dr. Shahid, Dr. Babar Rao, and APPNA and Open. This is the first time I've seen more audience than the Jumapre around. So this is amazing work. I can tell you, for all the people who are pitching here for the first time, 2019 I pitched it for the very first time, and it was first Open and APPNA joint thingy, where I said, hey guys, here I have a box, and I want to put this dialysis machine on human beings. Can you please guys help us and fund us? and we did the whole pitch and everything. And the one lady from the back, Dr. Sadiq Malik's wife, I don't know her name right now, sorry about that. She said, "Oh, why don't we fund this company?" And that was the first check. And through APPNA and Open, we raised $1.2 billion. This synergy between the two organizations, entrepreneurship and the medical. So please keep on doing what you're doing. And 3 to 4 years, you would be at a totally different level. So thank you for this, and thank you for inviting me here. So things that I want to show you here is, this is the reason. Somebody said earlier, Bilal said, what is the reason? So the way we take that, all of you, whoever is eating sugars and salts, please drop that. So you are becoming my customer. And my job is to get pee out of your body. And there are two ways to take the pee out of the body. One is very painful, where I put the needles into your body, take your entire blood out, and then you are miserable for the rest of your life until you die, or you get a kidney. Or there's another way which is better than that. So don't want any of those. This is a story that I will show you. Can you play this video? Oh, can you play it?
I'm just great.
Why are you so nervous?
I just love you so much. You're my favorite person ever.
I love you too. I love the idea of this French toast. And you're going to cover the bacon in chocolate.
Yes.
Love that
I'm
idea.
gonna cover it in chocolate. I watch you all the time, Gordon. You got me through a very, very tough time in my life. I have stage 5 kidney disease, and I discovered the show in the hospital. And
Can you believe that she's a stage 5 kidney disease patient and mom of 2, active lifestyle, not on a bed, not sucking the blood out of her body, and she lives a true life. That's what I wanted for my khala. And she was dialysis patient. और पाकिस्तान में कहते हैं dialysis पूरे खानदान का होता है. We saw that. एक बंदे का नहीं, सबका खून निकलता है. And I tried to buy dialysis machine and take it to Pakistan from the companies that I engineered, helped them. They didn't let me buy that. And that's where I attended 5th funeral, and that's why my wife and we started this company. We said, okay, we're going to start our own dialysis company. We're going to change the landscape inside out. We lived 5 years, 4 years without salary. खाना बदोशों की तरह गाड़ी की SUV के बैग में सामान रख के घूमते रहे. We were between Dallas and Houston and Texas and trying to figure out how we'll get it done. And this is how hemodialysis work and plasma dialysis work. I'm going to skip through this. That's one of our earliest patients. So let's look at the business side as well. Business is important, otherwise entrepreneur is nothing without a business. Humanitarian side is one thing. So the American government decided to move 80% of American patients towards home dialysis, which is a $44 billion market, is completely flipping on its head for the very first time. And Mexico is 72% peritoneal dialysis. So this is an opportunity where your kidneys are the only organ which are funded by the federal government, is Canadian, as per John Report. So secondly is dialysis is a 40-year-old technology. We are changing it inside out. And then 75% of the world do not get dialysis, they die. All other people out there, which is a separate market by itself to be developed. So there's a 7% growth, unfortunately, because of what we eat and all those reasons. And this market is shifting, and I'm going to skip this. The way we change insulin market and a hemodialysis market in past, this team will change dialysis market one more time. And these are the people who are behind 62% of dialysis machines which are getting used in America as of today. So this is our first machine which is being used in Pakistan. Our machines are approved in Pakistan by the government of Pakistan, and we have signed up America as one of the leading clinics to deploy these machines. One of them is 5th largest in America. So we have submitted to FDA last year. We are very close to the final stages of getting approval, hopefully Q3, Q4 this year. We have raised more than $13-14 million so far through the help of Open, and especially the Open leadership and APPNA leadership as well. We have built a factory. We have treated patients in a hospital setting and a home setting as well. These are the 2 research centers. If you are in Chicago suburbs, please stop by, have a coffee with us. And so my timer turned off. Okay, so this is the team we built in Pakistan. We got all the certifications, and we got a lot of certifications out on our way. I'm going to skip through this. We did human factor studies, all this stuff. It's very well paid industry. All the codes are approved by the government. and we plotted what the market is, who the customers are. We are signing one by one, even though machine is not even yet approved, but you're kind of signing the way we are doing is we are getting their investment into the company so that they're waiting for this machine. So this was our journey, started from home, bring it to new home, and then Middle East is we are signing up some things there. And I'm going to skip through this really quick. Is we have dialysis patients live less than cancer patients. Dialysis is worse than cancer. And if we remove the problem of malnutrition, inflammation, and atherosclerosis, then these people can live longer. And we have a complete roadmap how to do it. And we have people who know how to do it. We will remove the GDEs and we remove the acid from your dialysis system. This will be the first time in the history of dialysis. So these are the GDEs which are well characterized, and we're coming up with a new system, first time in the history, that would not have these GDEs. This will be the first dialysate that will be pH neutral for your body. This will solve the shipping problem of moving fluids across, and that will bring the unit economics to the floor, just like Curie K-Cup. And we will also have a major impact on your heart health, because 52% of dialysis patients die because of heart failure, not because of dialysis failure. And there are companies which has $2 billion exits. He's one of my friends, and we can do way better than that based on our market is growing and other global market is coming to the play. So very close to FDA approval, planning to launch in US, have some revenue already. We're working towards world's first acid-free dialysis and world's first toxin-free dialysis, and we have invitation towards the best clinics in America. And this is the bottom line. This is how I want patients to be. When the feeling's done, you gotta know when to hold up. I don't want all my patients to be stuck in a bed.
All right, thank you so much, Farooq. So, Farooq was my first startup check and many of my friends. And first gonna make me rich so that I can retire and stop practicing medicine and just do this for a time, right? Talk to startup founders and entrepreneurs, and it's so exciting. It reminds me of the excitement I had when I was in medical school. It's the same innovation. It's being part of the innovation, being part of the journey, story, talking, learning, problem solving. And I think it's great. We as physicians has a lot of value to add. We can help fill in the gaps, as was mentioned earlier. We can help guide in technology development, user experience. Many times user is us, not actually the patient, but we are the client, we're the user of that innovation, and we can help with that if we connect. So that's my message to you. Let me close the day by inviting our president back, Dr. Asif Mohideen, for his word of thanks, and close the session in time for our next council meeting in this room. So, Dr. Asif.
Thank you so much, Danish. I think a wonderful session. I think we'll all agree. Very, very informative. And thank you, Open, for being here. Thank you, Bionics, and everybody. This is the direction that we want to move in. APPNA will generate revenue, and we will be hopefully in 3 years or 4 years in a totally different frontier, as you have said. That is where we want to take this association to, and inshallah we will achieve it. We will have setbacks, we'll have problems, but we want to not give up. That is the key. So thank you, Shahid, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. We close the session. Thanks for joining. Assalamu alaikum.